Welcome back to Daily Flash. I'm Andrea Jackson along with Mitch English. Time for a little relationship refresh.
Love that. Yes, like it or not, you are in some kind of relationship right now, and we found a few things that actually can make that relationship or any relationship, well, better. So let's kick things off. Jack.
Okay, check this out. A recent study from the University of Reading found that couples who comfortably share silent moments together often enjoy stronger emotional intimacy. The research suggests that being able to just be together without the pressure to talk signals a deep connection instead of anything awkward. Rather than filling the air with constant chatter, these couples simply exist side by side and build trust in that ease.
So, which I can't stand silence.
Really?
I feel like there has to be something going on. But when I find myself in a position where it's really quiet, I realize I feel different about myself. Now, if I had the person that I love, I had lives in that same room and she's quiet and she's enjoying the moment. It's the space, and you look at it and you're like, okay, that's the relationship we have. We're not, we're okay with not talking. And it's almost like what, in fact, you just did it, finishing sentences, knowing what I'm talking about. I think you need those silent things to help you when you actually are talking. I love that. Research published in Fortune magazine found that couples who see their world similarly actually share values, perceptions, and meaning. They also report a higher life satisfaction and better relationship health. And it turns out alignment actually does matter. When partners interpret life events in comparable ways, they feel that they're more united rather than divided. That means basically you don't need to love the same movies, but seeing the same movie of life actually helps. So experiencing things.
Yeah.
Researchers say that it's less about finishing each other's sentences and it's more about seeing life through the same lens. And I think once you do that, you wind up, because you and I think we see a lot of things the same way. We finish each other's sentences and sandwiches as well.
And sandwiches. I think what's interesting about this is, we've always heard, well, opposites attract to a certain degree, and you may be opposite in certain things, but I do think there has to be some common thread that you share between the two of you, that you both sort of come from, the same perspective or similar.
I think it's important too, because then you have a baseline and then you can see different sides of somebody, but you know that, hey, look, well, this person, the core of what they believe, we have the same thing.
Right.
And then that makes you a better person. Just opening up, taking those blinders off and just listening.
And I think when you have that established and you're both comfortable that you kind of are cut from the same cloths when it comes to that sort of perspective, then I think it makes everything else a little easier. Right?
100%, because the little things are not going to matter anymore, because you're like, all right, I know why she did that. And it's just like even workplaces. If you think about it, it's like, okay, I understand why they did this, and it's small things. But if you all have a common goal, you'll get through it.
Definitely.
Better.
Finally, a 2025 report found that couples who met through friends or social circles are about 30% more likely to remain together long-term compared to those who met online or in more transient ways. Part of that may be trust, shared networks, maybe a slower buildup rather than a swipe-fast romance. So while online dating works, the friends introduced route still holds surprising relationship longevity.
I've never had anybody that I ever dated. It was a friend thing, so I can't speak of this. And I know that you and Alan worked together.
Yeah, we worked together. Yeah. However, we were friends first. I'll say
that's
that.
great.
Yeah.
Okay,
So we were friends first. Yeah.
And I think because your friends see stuff you don't, and it's like, God, you have the same personality as Alan. You have the same personality as Liza. You guys would be great together. They see something that you might not.
True.
And because we judge, and so I could see how that would lend itself into, hey, this is a great relationship. But on top of that, I think it's more, you don't want to disappoint your friends if you break up.
The pressure of the friend group.
Yeah.
I think that's a real thing.
And maybe that might not be a bad thing, because it's like, instead of just like breaking up and you're like, oh, wait a minute, all these other people saw something that maybe I'm not seeing. It kind of gives you a little bit of safety net, I would imagine.
However, I sometimes that can be misleading, because you might seem to appear perfect for someone else or a good match, and you get together and maybe there's no spark there. I mean, that happens to all of us, And so you think on paper this looks fantastic, but in reality, not so much.
And then you find people that meet somebody and a week later they're married. And they're married for 70, 80 years.
Yeah.
And I think I've talked to some older people, and they say it's that, number one, they just took divorce off the table, or breaking up is that, okay, there was a reason, and they kind of held on to those things. Like I was saying earlier, they held on to that thing. All right, And that kind of at least held you there, and then you say, all right, let's work around that problem
Yeah.
that they might have. I don't know. I mean, we would love to hear your thoughts on
Definitely.
this. Matter of fact, we could share it on the air if you drop us an email, dailyflashshow.com.
All right, stay with us. More coming up.